Hello, YouTube. Are we ready for our live? All right, let's get Instagram. Hello, Instagram. Hello, YouTube. We're going to be speaking about the reason why your business may not be scaling. There's one thing to build a business, but to scale it, and you're probably doing everything you possibly can, all of the strategies. So, what does strategy look like, and how can we identify if this is the issue that's happening in your business? But before I go into it, I want you just to envision like what is scaling to you in your business? What do you really want to do when it comes to scaling your business? Is it a monetary amount? Per month, per quarter, per year? Is it a follow account across your different social medias? Is it who's in your membership or who's in a signature program? So I think the first thing to really start to decide is like, what does scaling look like in your business? The business owners that I work with, the female entrepreneurs I work with, they have an idea of what it looks like to build a business, but like to scale it is another thing. And I think, especially with the industry, scaling can sometimes only be directly correlated with a money amount. So if you're at a 5K month, scaling means you go to 10 and then 30 and then 50, right? That is one way, but there are also different ways to gauge it. I remember the most important thing, and this is what I teach with all of my female entrepreneurs, and this is a big part of Become the CEO 12-week mastermind. Your business needs to be an extension of you. It needs to be something that is inspiring. It needs to be something that actually lights you up, not something where you're grinding, you're hustling all of the time in your masculine energy, versus also you can't always be in your feminine energy and thinking, I'm going to receive, it's going to be easy, I put in the work, now I'm going to pull back. This is why a lot of female entrepreneurs have this push-pull in their business, and they build, but they don't scale because they are stuck in these constant dynamics. So how can we actually start to identify what it looks like to only do strategy and not work on the other parts of our business when it comes to scaling? If you are in this kind of tornado where you're showing up, you feel like you're showing up on your stories all of the time, you are creating content, whether it's here on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, what other platforms there are. I also have a podcast, the Jessica Pinili podcast. So that's a platform for me as well. Maybe you feel like you're showing up, maybe every day you wake up a little bit overwhelmed, and you're kind of like, okay, what's on my to-do list today? And this is how I operated for a long time in my business, more so in the building phase, which is exactly why it wasn't a scaling phase, because in the building phase, you kind of like wake up and it's like, all right, I know that I have stuff to do. I know maybe I have a few DMs to get to. I have a few emails to get to. I know I want to create a piece of content. And this isn't acting like a CEO in your business whatsoever. And this is part of the reason why I've created Become the CEO, is because we need to put on our CEO hat. We actually need to wake up and we need to know, okay, what are we working towards long term in our business, not just quick wins. I think sometimes it's really easy to have a quick monetary win, or, maybe you go viral and to have that quick dopamine hit. But it's really like understanding and waking up with a full, clear, concise plan. What am I working towards my business? And if you're watching this, you're not resonating, you don't want to scale, you don't want to get big, you don't want to create a legacy. And I don't mean big as in like you need to be known by millions and millions of people, but really like my work here is for the female entrepreneur to really master herself so she can, number one, have a business that's an extension of her, but number two, like create something. One of the best things that I did for myself in my life was create a business, to have something that is my own, to have something that I am able to like every single day show up for. Yes, of course, there are business aspects of there that are like running a business that are tiring, or it's like, that's tedious. I mean, that's being an entrepreneur, right? But knowing that I created something, a legacy, something that is creating a long-term vision for me, for my future, for my relationship, for, my loved ones, it's such a beautiful feeling inside. And so that's what I really connect with female entrepreneurs for, is creating a business that's an extension of them, but also being able to feel like, okay, I've created something for myself, and like this is a legacy. And so if that's kind of like a side note. I went on a little tangent there, but that's like a side note. But if you're like showing up every day and you're kind of like confused, like, what am I doing? Or like, what's the next step? Or like, okay, I created a piece of content, or I showed up, I spoke on my stories, or I went live, and like I don't know what else to do, and I'm not getting leads, or I'm not making the income I want, or I feel like I'm at an income cap. Like, number one, like start to recognize what's the belief process, what's the thought process you keep having in your mind, what are the behaviors that are reflecting that. Cacao break. My cacao I made today, by the way, is just like so delicious. I made it perfectly. I always get questions, what cacao I drink. It's the Cacao Collective. I think I've been drinking them like nearly 4 years. So good. But just kind of looking at how you're operating right now, and this is like really truly why I created Become the CEO, because it's like overall, like holistically, we're looking at how you operate as a CEO in your business. Like what I've been saying, if you've been following me for the longest time, you know, like every single Monday I'm getting up my stories and I'm like, happy CEO Monday. And it's really about setting a vision. It's really about having a long-term legacy that you're working towards. And so if you feel like you're doing all the things and you're not quite scaling, you're not hitting that next income, you're not getting the visibility you desire, or you know, you feel like you have leads and then all of a sudden they're like not responding, ghosting, like whatever it is, if that's where you're at, it's more than likely not a strategy issue for you. Sorry, two things. Let me contradict myself a little bit. It's not so much a strategy issue as it is a mindset issue. However, your strategy probably needs to be refined. Now, I'm not going to sit here and be like, all right, just work on your mindset and think positive. And like, no, we don't do that here. We do proper subconscious reprogramming. We get to the root, we get to the core of what's actually happening, why we are the way we are in our business, what our invisible ceiling is capping us at income wise, followers wise, if that's your goal, and visibility, all of that. We go deep, we understand, and this is actually the first pillar and Become the CEO. So I'm giving you some secrets here, but we actually deeply understand, as you have been building this business, what has now created your core beliefs and how you are operating. Your belief system, your mindset are going to reflect directly behaviors. Now, what are those behaviors that probably most of the time that are holding you back and keeping you stuck in the same cycle in your business of not scaling, are probably so are deeply rooted inside of your body, inside of your nervous system, inside of your mind, that you probably don't even realize, or your ego straight away justifies. So maybe that every time you say that you're going to show up more and more consistently, all of a sudden you get really, really tired, or you start to feel sick, and so you're scrolling on your phone, or you go for a nap and then you lose momentum and you kind of start the process again. We get in deep in that, and I think like looking at that first and foremost, and like I said, this is a big part of Become the CEO. It's pillar one, CEO identity, like actually reprogramming the way you perceive yourself, because the way you perceive yourself in business is not only important for how you influence other people to buy from you, to follow you, to get behind your movement, but it's also equally important for the way that you are operating day to day. You can't be at $8,000 months and want to be getting $30,000 months, which I just did a post on, one of my clients hit. So go and read that post. But you can't be at 8K months, wanting a 30K month and operating at an 8K mindset and an 8K perception of yourself. It just will not happen. And you will notice that, let's say, right, you are making $8,000 months and you want to hit the 10K. If you have not shifted that perception of yourself and those deep rooted core beliefs of how you are operating and what you truly believe about the world, about business, about money, about sales, about social media, if you aren't fully behind that, then you may attract $10,000, but you will lose it just like that. Or you, in the sense of you attract a bill from the tax office, or your car will break down and you'll need to use that extra $2,000 to be able to bring in more money. So do you see what happens when you perceive yourself in a way that's subconscious, that's not in alignment with actually what you desire in life? No, it's always going to feel like you were trying really hard. And this is why so many female entrepreneurs that I work with actually resort to working harder. They actually resort to doing more in their business, trying to like smash out so many pieces of content and makes them burn the fuck out, showing like trying to send a million emails, or like they're waking up every single day with these like big to-do lists. Again, I say this with so much love because this was me, right? I've operated like this in my business, where I wake up and I'm like, what am I doing? what am I doing? What's on my to-do list? Like how you wake up and it's like, how am I going to make sales? Like that's not a healthy way to operate. That's not building a business. That's an extension of you. And this is exactly what we work on as a foundation inside Become the CEO, right? My 12-week mastermind for female entrepreneurs. If you want to consistently scale from 10K to 30K months, consistency is key, but also feel good about yourself. Have a business that's a legacy for yourself and an extension, but create a life. Create a life that you want to live in. And I remember when I first started my business, I'll tell you, right? I've done a lot of travel. Like being in this business has given me the freedom to travel a lot. But can I tell you one of the main reasons I wanted to start a business? I wanted to be able to wake up, sit in bed in my pajamas, drinking my coffee or drinking my cacao, and I wanted just to work from bed. Like that was honestly like, yes, the travel, the freedom, like sometimes I go to a yoga class in the middle of the day. Like that is great. And I was saying this to a friend today, but honestly, I was like, I just want to be able to wake up and have that flexibility and be able to like feel regulated. Like you could be doing that now, but maybe you're waking up and you're like, okay, shit, like how am I making money? Like, she didn't reply to my DM. Your nervous system starts freaking out. You start constricting. What happens when you start constricting? You're never going to expand. A lot of the work, the Woman Mastery methodology has 3 phases: subconscious programming, identity shifting, and regulating to a new capacity. I bring all of this inside Become the CEO, which if you want to sign up, link in bio, YouTube, it's in the show notes, or have a discussion with me to see if it's the right thing for you. And what I see a lot happen with female entrepreneurs, they have this grit, they have this resilience, they really want to create something of their business. It's way more than just like, let me make money. It's like, I want to make an impact. But what I see is the moment that they start to create the things they desire, the money, the visibility, the clients, the lifestyle, they constrict. And they think it can't be like this. I have to like do. I have to hold on. I have to act from a scarcity mindset. I can't be like this. And it doesn't. You get to have the best of both worlds in business. And this is what we work on and Become the CEO. And so really understanding that if you feel like you're doing everything, like I said, I can contradict myself a little bit because yes, we do need to look at the strategy, but most importantly, if you're doing like you're showing up, you've got that bare minimum, right? Which if you're watching this, you probably have. You've got that bare minimum in business. Now it's more of a question of how do I perceive myself? What is my identity? Who actually am I in my business? Who am I in my business and how am I actually showing up every single day? The biggest thing is how do you show up in your business when you have a win? When you get a brand new client, when you get a payment, when you maybe go viral and you get a bunch of aligned clients, you probably feel excited, right? You probably feel really, really good. How do you feel when payments are rejected? Like payments are declined from your clients, or maybe you get onto the wrong side of your algorithm and you get canceled or people disagree with your point of view. How do you feel when you are talking to a potential client and then all of a sudden they ghost you and they never talk to you again? What happens in your nervous system? If you don't know how to bring that into a neutral point of view, this is a big part of my work with all of my clients. And yes, this will be Become the CEO, but if you can't bring this neutral point of view, then you are always going to be feeling like you're on this roller coaster or like the pendulum swing, as I share with my clients. That's not a way that you can scale a business. You can build a business like that. Again, I say this because I've had experience where I'm like grind, push through, like swinging on the pendulum, up and up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. You can build. It will be exhausting. And probably every couple of months, you're sitting back on the couch, putting on Netflix, and you're just like, holy shit, like, is it worth it to be a business owner? Because I'm so burnt out. Like, I just feel like I can't catch my breath. You can operate like that. I've operated like that at the start of my business. Or you can get to a place where you really are perceiving yourself as a CEO of your business. You really are able to neutralize yourself in the highs and the lows, because that will determine your success. That will determine exactly your long-term vision. And that is one of the most important things I see over and over and over again when it comes to female entrepreneurs, is they cannot hold both ends of the spectrum. They're up and down all of the time. And so, again, if you feel like you are showing up, you're doing the bare minimum, right? It's what I call the bare minimum mindset, which we'll go into a second when we go back to the strategy stuff. And you're like, it just does not make sense. Why aren't I hitting 10K, 20K, 30K, 50? Like I said, one of my clients just hit $30,109 to be exact. Go read the post. I just posted it on my feed. And the reason is she can hold neutrality. She is able to perceive herself differently. Right. And when she came to me, I think she was at 7, it was either 7 or 6K months. Right. And I'm not one of these coaches that I'm like, yeah, just work with me and get in my energy and it's all going to happen. No, we put in the work. We do things that we're all about long-term sustainability. And so that's what I want you to look at now. Go back into the strategy. What I just spoke about was the bare minimum mindset. And if anyone has any questions watching this while I take a cacao drink, let me know before we go into the strategy things to look at. So like I said, building and scaling a business are completely different. If you want to scale, for those of you that have just joined, scaling can look like more money, more visibility, more clients, more confidence, being able to hold more overall when it comes to your entire business. And if we go to the strategy wise, if we just park the identity and the mindset stuff, strategy wise, I want you, here's an exercise I want you to go away and do. And we go, when you sign up for Become the CEO, and we got that there, went down wrong, give me 2 seconds. When you sign up for Become the CEO, we do an onboarding call. 45-minute onboarding call. Why is this important? I get you to fill out a pretty detailed document of your business, where you're at. Like, I want to hear it all. And then in the onboarding process, we go through exactly our plan of attack for your business. So yes, Become the CEO is a mastermind, and you will get that group support. You will get the calls. You will get the day-to-day support. You will get the vaults, the Become the CEO vault of trainings. But most importantly, I make it very personalized and high touch, because I do not believe in cookie cutter strategies. I've worked with many female entrepreneurs. They're all wildly different. I've worked with the same type of entrepreneurs: business coach, mindset coach, personal trainers, nutritionists, photographers, videographers, but they're all wildly different. And so when you come in, we do this strategy, we go through in extensiveness, what's our plan of attack? And some things I want you to look at now, and this is what I want you to go away and do. Go and look at your business. Go and look at how you're operating. I want you to quite literally write down what you do every single day. Or, if you're working Monday to Friday, right, what's the average thing? Maybe it's examples like, okay, I'm posting twice a day. I've got a reel and I've got a carousel post, or maybe I'm doing a TikTok and I'm doing a YouTube live. And then I am sending out an email, and then I'm checking my DMs, I'm responding to comments. And then, I'm just kind of like, feel like I'm working, staying busy, right? Let me know if this resonates with you. That's what I call the bare minimum. You will always have an unconscious standard in your business as to why you're capped at where you currently are. And so I want you to understand what that unconscious standard is by quite literally writing down everything that you're doing. And it may feel like a lot. Now, once you've got that list, dot points, or maybe it's in your phone, park that. That's your bare minimum. That's your bare minimum, right? Going off the example, it's like, okay, I'm posting on Instagram and TikTok once a day. I'm sending out an email. I'm responding to DMs. I'm responding to comments. And I post a story as well. I do a story mini training. That's your bare. That's quite literally bare minimum. That's already embedded into your nervous system, into your body. And see how, like, everything I'm teaching you is WoMastery methodology. Everything's infused, right? It's like it's the perfect marriage in Become the CEO. So you got to park that. You can't even think of that stuff because you're already doing that. Do you see how, like, if you're operating the same every single day, you're going to get the same results? Again, I say this with love. I've been there. I hit these monetary goals in the first few years of my business, 2022. I spoke about it on my Instagram story last night. I hit this lull where for months I could not get past my income that I was making. And I was like, why is this happening? Like, why can't I get past this? Like, what is happening? I was so frustrated. I was working more, 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 and I was feeling so burnt out in my business. I was like resenting it. And it's because I needed this exercise, right? Become the CEO is really the culmination of the past 5 years of me owning this business. And I needed this. I needed this simple exercise that I'm quite literally giving you. Like, I promise it will make a word of a different of your perception. And I needed to understand that the things I was doing every single day, great, they're my bare minimum. That's what's keeping me here. Now, what's the 10x level? What's the future lens? Right? Inside of, so there's 4 pillars and become the CEO. And I just told you CEO identity is that, the subconscious reprogramming identity. But the other 3 we look at in great detail is your visibility, your influence, and your strategy. So understanding your content game, understanding your marketing skills, your messaging skills, and understanding your sales game, right? When you understand how to 10x all of these, you will see your business scale. You will get the results that you desire. I'm not here to say that you are going to get them within 2 weeks, 12 years, whatever. But I'm telling you, if you stay consistent with these things, and it's like, I'm so freaking proud of this mastermind and the trainings, and like the call, like getting on a call with me is magnetic. You think I'm giving a lot to you now? Wait till you like invest and come on a call with me, because like I am just so excited to share these concepts that I practice what I preach, but my clients over and over again, my business clients do it. And when you aren't refining your sales game, your messaging game, and your content game, it doesn't mean doing more. It doesn't mean it's not coming in and being like, all right, so you're posting 3 reels a week. I need you to up it to 7 reels a week. Like that, like this is why it's personalized, because I need to understand what's happening for your business. But I want you taking that exercise that I just gave you, looking in a different funnel, look at your content game, look at your sales game, and look at your messaging game. What is actually happening? You've got the bare minimum out of the way, but what are the things we're actually shifting? What are the things? And you know what I'm going to do, let me get up the module. It's nearly finalized, all the modules for Become the CEO, but I am going to just read with you some things that you can start to consider when it comes to these 3 aspects, just to start getting the brain like thinking, like, how can I think differently in my business? Let's have a cacao break first. Any questions, again, let me know. Like I said, you think I'm giving you answers now? Come in to become the CEO. We will transform you as a woman, a business owner, and we will transform your entire business. Okay, so for example, I'm going to just give you some examples of things to work on and what we specifically teach you inside of Become the CEO. CEO visibility is all about content, creating content that converts to sales. Intention, brand positioning, so how you position yourself as a brand. Regardless of being a business owner, you are also a personal brand. Like, again, how people perceive you, standing out, activating your own charisma, and building an engaged audience, right? And this doesn't mean like I'm like, okay, you need to build your audience to hundreds of millions. No, you can have an engaged audience. One of my clients, she has 3,000, I think just under 4,000 followers, very engaged, and she makes multi 5-figure months, right? It's got nothing to do, like, I don't care for that, right? I don't care for those stories that the industry tells you. It's about being able to activate in your content. So those are some things for you to think about when it comes to CEO influence. Again, another pillar inside of Become the CEO Mastermind. CEO influence is messaging. So how you articulate your offer, how you articulate how you are going to give someone a transformation or an outcome. Like, are you fluffy? So for example, I love messaging. So for example, if you are saying, okay, I am a personal trainer, and let's say this example, and it's like, in this 8-week boot camp, I'm going to teach you how to eat more healthily, right? That's one to say. It's like, yeah, okay. But offer articulation is like, in this 8-week boot camp, you are going to learn the easiest way to drop 5 kilos, and be able to have the energy to play with your kids, right? That was very rough because I just thought it on the spot, but see what I mean? Like, it's learning how to appeal to your audience, and teaching your audience how to buy from you, right? And then from there is like the sales psychology, understanding the buyer types. It's very important. Like, Who are you speaking to? Are you priming your entire audience? And being able to like look at the lifetime value of your client. Retention is a big thing, right? I retain a lot of my clients. It's because I've created a brand, I've created a movement, I've created a legacy. I think I said this on Threads, and the thread went a little bit viral the other day, but I basically said like, bringing on new clients is incredible. I love connecting with new people, but retaining clients is like my love language. There's been some clients that have been with me for 4 years now, since I started my business, and it's just like insane. It's insane. So these are the things I share, these little bits from Become the CEO, just so you can start to think about them, you can start to implement. Because again, there's a lot more to scaling a business and showing up, posting a piece of content, talking on your stories, maybe going live, and then that's all, right? There's many more parts to scaling a business. And again, we marry these two together. So if you feel like you're doing everything and you're like, yes, Jess, I'm looking at all of that, look at your identity, look at your mindset, look at how you perceive yourself, look at the perception of yourself as a business owner, but also as a woman, right? Those two identities need to marry, because your business should be an extension of you. I hope this has given you some information and something to go away with. And like I said, if you want a personalized overview, if you want support for 12 weeks to dive deep into your business, your offers, your content, who you are as a woman, who you are as a business owner, Become the CEO. It's a 12-week mastermind. We marry the two of strategy and mindset, just to put it super simply. And I'm so freaking excited. This has been 5 years in the making, and I'm not even over exaggerating. I really took my time with putting out a business-based container, because I have clients who are business based because they come on as one-on-one clients, but I really wanted to put together a container that was really based and rooted in data and research and evidence, that what I practice, what I preach, my clients have used it, and I'm really, really freaking excited. So definitely join. YouTube show notes below, over on Instagram, link in bio. Or if you want to discuss more, if this is for you and where you're at in business, 110%, just slide into my DMs. We can have a conversation. But I hope you've gotten so much for this, and I will speak to you in the next live. Bye.